I want to turn to Mattias Lehman and ask you about Senator Kamala Harris, who said she'd do away with the Senate filibuster if Republicans fail to work with Democrats in passing the Green New Deal.
On the issue of this climate crisis, I'm going to tell you, I strongly believe this is a fight against powerful interests. And leaders need to lead. So lead, follow, or get out the way. And get out the way starting with Donald Trump. So yeah, we need to work across the aisle. But I'm going to tell you, I've been there now 2 years and some months. I'm seeing no evidence of it. I'm seeing, I kid you guys not. In our United States Congress, I was part of a committee hearing during which the underlying premise of the hearing was to debate whether science should be the basis of public policy. This on a matter that is about an existential threat to who we are as human beings. So again, back to the United States Congress, here's my point. If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
Senator Kamala Harris at last night's climate crisis town hall in the midst of Hurricane Dorian barreling through the Caribbean, decimating the Bahamas, making its way now to the Carolinas. Mattias Lehman, if you can respond to what she said. And also, Senator Harris, among other people, did talk about environmental justice. Can you talk about this issue, what it means, and the issue of environmental racism?
Sure. So on the filibuster, simple answer, this is just important. Yes. If you look at some of the opposition, we're talking about people like James Inhofe, who brought a snowball into Congress to say global warming wasn't happening. And even going back to your question about regulation, what it means to be tough on fossil fuel companies means having some sort of leverage. And like, we've had all the regulations we've wanted on housing, did not stop redlining from discriminating against African Americans. We have regulations on healthcare, does not stop people from going into bankruptcy because of their medical debt. We had regulations on financial speculation, did not stop the 2008 recession, which was caused by rampant speculation. So regulation is one part of a toolkit, but that toolkit really only matters if there is a credible threat of following up on it. And so I think when you look at energy companies, we don't have a credible alternative. We can't say, oh, I don't want to put gas in my car. I'm going to go to the solar car industry, right? That doesn't exist. And so we need these alternatives separated from profit in a lot of ways for us to be able to do that. We need some leverage against fossil fuel companies coming from our government, and it needs to be very strong leverage. And so I think that's like a fundamental point. But also, what you're saying about Kamala Harris is super important. I grew up in a heavily polluted minority community. I have asthma. This is a reality for a lot of people of color, for a lot of poor people. They bear the brunt of the beginnings of what climate change is bringing. In the Bahamas, we've seen mass devastation. And like you said, we can't wait for 2045 to prevent basically the death and destruction and the genocide of the Bahamian people because we won't act. That's ridiculous. And there's so many communities facing things like that right now. The refugees coming up from Honduras and from Central and South America as a whole up to our border right now, that is a climate crisis. We are letting these people die. We are letting these people die in concentration camps because we're not willing to act on climate change. That is just wrong. And I really have to wonder how much less willing we would be able to tolerate this death if we were talking about white people and not people of color. If we were talking about people who have a more white nationalist orientation don't care about and don't think about. So I think when we look at climate change, racial justice and environmental justice has to be at the forefront of everything we're thinking about and everything we're doing, because we can't just abandon the global south. We can't just abandon minorities and poor people and sort of run to the hills and save a fragment of humanity. This is a fight for the future of our species and the future of our planet, and we have to all be in here together, and we have to take into consideration everyone, not just a select few.